Hi, in this video you're going to learn the top strengthening exercises for neck trigger point pain. Now, Dr. Jasper here from wizardofhealth.net. Now the big thing I have, my patients have a problem with is when they ever get trigger points in the neck, we do give them some self-treatments to do at home or we do treat them at the clinic. But a lot of times for long-term pain relief, you really need to get into a good strengthening program. One of the big reasons is we're always putting our head in a forward posture positions. So we need to do a strengthening program to stabilize all the muscles in our neck. Now with the trigger points, once you get them relieved, you can work into a stretching program and then a strengthening program. But what I'm finding is with neck problems, I'm finding you can go from trigger point pain right into a strengthening program and kind of don't even have to go into a stretching program. But now take it one step at a time and seeing if the stretching is helping, but definitely strengthening is the most important part of the whole equation. Now for strengthening the neck muscles, what we want to do is we want to start strengthening the upper trapezius or the shoulders. Now if you've seen people at the gym, they're always doing these shoulder shrugs. I got a lot of guys who come into the office that do a lot of weightlifting and are always saying that they get a lot of burning pain in their shoulders when they're doing their shrugs. And one of the main reasons is because there's another muscle there that attaches from the shoulder blade up to the neck, which gets tight. And if you start doing shoulder shrugs, you're just going to tighten them up. So here's one really unique way to do that exercise. What you're going to do is you're going to raise your elbows up, so you're going to take that other muscle called the levator scapula out of the way. And from that position, you're going to start going up and down into a shoulder shrug. Now you can do that without weights to start, or you can start using 5-10 pound weights in your hands. Another way to do this exercise is grabbing a bar or grab a small amount of weights and lifting it over your head. Now when you got it up over your head, from this position in a neutral, you want to then go up and down into a shoulder shrug. Again, we're strengthening the trapezius muscles, but we're taking that levator scapula muscle right out of the picture. You'd be surprised the number of times that this is the only exercise a lot of my patients need until they start actually feeling pretty good. Once we work on the trigger points and we start giving this strengthening exercise, it takes about a couple of weeks to start seeing some really good results. So this is a very, very important exercise to do. Just don't do shoulder shrugs with your arms down at the side. Lift them up a bit at an angle and then start doing the exercise. If you have no weights in your hand, do about 20 of them, 30, 40. It doesn't matter. It's all about high repetitions, not about how much weight you have. So that's the first exercise you want to start off with. Now with trigger point pain, I always tell and I recommend starting with just one exercise. Do it for 2 weeks. If you get more muscle aches and pains, you want to stop that exercise, go back to trigger point treatments. Then once the pain starts coming back down, go back into that strengthening exercise. For about 2 weeks, it should feel okay. If it does, then you move on to the next one. And the next strengthening exercise we have is called the cranial cervical flexion exercise. Now this one's very simple to do. If you have no time to do the exercises, you can lie down in bed when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed. All you do is lie down, put your head flat on the bed, don't put it on a pillow, and just tuck your chin in and lift your head about 1 inch off the ground. That's it. And once you do that, you're going to start noticing you're going to shake a lot. And what we're doing is we're starting to get the muscles in the front of the neck activated. Now to do this the wrong way, a lot of people, what they do is they lift their head up, but their chin juts out. That means they got a lot of weakness in the muscles in the front. So you have to be consciously cognizant of the fact that you need to keep that chin in and not let it come out. Another thing a lot of people do is they lift their head up more than 1 inch. You lift your head up all the way. Again, you're not using the right muscles. You're going to be using the wrong muscles. So in the cranial cervical flexion exercise, tuck the chin in, lift your head about 1 inch. You start feeling a little bit of shaking going on. We know we're working the muscles the right way. A variation to this exercise is when you're lying down, tuck the chin in, rotate your head a little bit to one side, and then lift your head up. Now we're going to activate different parts or different angles of those muscles. So you can do it with your head in the middle or through different rotations. Any one is fine. And again, hold it as long as you can. And I tell all my patients, if you hold it and you feel like that chin's going to come out, you stop, you bring your head back down. So you want to work on repetitions and not try to hold it for as long as you can. It's all about quality of movement rather than quantity. Now the third exercise that we want to do has nothing to do with the neck. We want to start doing what we call mid-back mobilization. You'd be surprised the amount of people that have stiffness in that mid-back. The mid-back should have more range of motion, but actually it has less range of motion. So the more range of motion we get into that mid-back, for example, it's very simple, lie down on a foam roller, or you can take 2 balls, put it in a sock and lie down on that. What happens is when you lie down on it, all you do is extend your back a little bit and come back to neutral, extend it back, and then come back to neutral. What you're doing is you're constantly mobilizing that mid-back. The more we increase the mobility of the mid-back, the more stable our neck and our low back is going to be. So that's the next exercise to do. And the next exercise after that is what we call isometrics. And the isometrics are the things that everybody thinks they should be doing, when in fact that's probably the 4th exercise that I'll recommend. Now with isometrics, it's very simple. You always keep your head in the neutral position. You press against your hand and you press about 20-30% of your full force, about 10-15 seconds. You go behind the head and you do that. You go to your side, so you're trying to side bend your neck, or you're going to try to rotate your neck against resistance. Again, it's very simple to do. Do it once on this side, once rotation and lateral bending on the other side. It's very simple. Try once a day, twice a day, that's it. And only do about 20-30% of the pressure. A lot of people, what they do is they bend their neck down and then they push. You want to avoid all positions where your neck is forward flexed and applying any type of force to it. That puts a lot of stress into the neck area, and that's the last thing we want. Again, guys, just to summarize, do 1 of these exercises at the start only. Do it for about 2 weeks. Increase pain, come back to the trigger points treatments, then go back into that strengthening exercise, and then keep changing up the exercise. You can go to the 2nd or the 3rd, or you can do exercise number 1 and exercise number 2 at the same time, and then add a 3rd one to that and a 4th. But I always recommend just maybe do maximum of 2 of these, whichever ones you feel comfortable with. If you need any more information on how to treat your trigger points, go to wizardofhealth.net. We got dozens of videos and articles there to help with all different muscle groups and to be able to help you get out of your pain. And we'll see you guys in the next video.